This is massive. Once again, I hope you'll all join me in saying, I can't breathe.
Who bought it?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't
breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Come on.
You need the next one. Louder, people. Like we mean it. Because we mean it. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Somebody's son. It was somebody's uncle. It was somebody's dad. It was a person. It was a black man. It's time for it to stop. Thank you, everyone.
My name's Cleta Rathbone. I wasn't going to come here today. I'm not quite sure why, but now I've turned up. I can't believe the diversity of the people here. It's incredible. Like Glenda, I was born in Preston over 50 years ago. Preston is a small little town with a very friendly community. And knowing that I was a little bit different than everybody else didn't seem to bother me that much until I started school. Walking to school one day at about 8 years old, this older white man with a walking stick hit me across the back as I was walking down the pavement to school and called me a black bastard. Okay, I was 8 years old, and that was a rude awakening for me to realise that I wasn't just a little bit different. I looked quite a bit different. I had different hair. I couldn't pull it back in a ponytail. My nose wasn't pointed and my skin wasn't as fair as my friends. But as I say, Preston, a very friendly, generally friendly place. We are quite a good mix here. People tend to get on pretty much okay. However, racism has existed in this quiet little town for years, the same as it exists across the whole of the world, unfortunately, because people look a little bit different. It's more obvious if you're black, it's more obvious if you're Asian, it's more obvious if you're disabled, it's more obvious if you're gay and flamboyant and want to show that off. It's more obvious if your hair is red. It's more obvious if your hair is black and you're in Germany and people do not like the way you look. It's more obvious when you open your mouth and your accent might be a little bit different, or your language may be a little bit different, because that person stood in front of you doesn't quite look like you and doesn't quite look like your friends. And as a result of that, if the majority of you do look the same, it's so very easy to point at somebody who is different and persecute that person and bully that person or ridicule that person or tease that person and tell that person that they're just a little too sensitive. Having grown up in a little town, which is now a city, I've been, I'd say, pretty protected, really. As I say, I've grown up with a diverse of friends. My ideal family, or my family, is quite diverse again, like the United Colours of Benetton or the mixing pot. So my husband is white, my children are mixed race, my nephew is Asian. You know, there's a proper big mix in our family, and we do tend to rub along, that's my close family, to rub along quite well. However, outside the door is not the same. So my husband is white and his parents live in Cheshire, nice white suburban Cheshire. So when you walk into the house of your in-laws, you immediately know that you're different. Nobody says anything, but you're different. Okay, it really does make a difference. When you walk into a school that's predominantly white, you do feel that apprehension that you're different. But I always think that being different is beautiful. Being different means that you are unique. You are unique. If we were all the same, life would be incredibly boring. If everybody looked the same, what on earth would people do? Who on earth would they be able to point at and say, you're different, you look different, because you just look like me? If everybody looked the same, we'd be appealing to Adolf Hitler's ideology of having a supreme race where everybody looks the same. This sort of persecution has been going on for decades and decades and decades. I don't want to keep you too long, but the work I do, I'm a human rights solicitor, so I deal with people from all over the world. When I started the work that I do, I couldn't believe the places that people came from. So I was educated. As I say, I come from a small town. My first client came from a place called Azerbaijan. I'd never heard of it. My second client came from a place called Benin. My third client came from a place called Chad. Never heard of it. And as time went on, I was beginning to meet people from all over the continent. I met people from Iraq, I met people from Afghanistan, I met people from Somalia, all over the place. And all these people were different. And those people were coming because they were being persecuted, because they were black, they were gay, they were women, they were anything that didn't fit into that square peg that somebody wanted them to fit into. Not taking into account that these people were unique and these people have got as much right to breathe this air as everybody else. As Glenda said, we were born for a reason, we're here for a reason. I think it's so harmful and so hurtful that a brother can stand next to a brother and hate that brother. Cain and Abel, you hate your brother because you want to be better than him. If we were just to look at each other through the eyes of a child, you put a bunch of kids together and those children will play together. Those children do not say, you're black, or you're this, or you're that. And then they do get to a certain age and notice differences. But I think if people would just look at each other through the eyes of a child and just see a person as opposed to somebody who's different. Somebody who wears a hijab, don't poke fun at them. Somebody who chooses not to wear a hijab, don't poke fun at them. Yeah? Somebody who chooses to relax their hair, don't poke fun at them. Somebody who wants to go natural, don't poke fun at them. My Sikh friends who wear turbans, don't poke fun at them. You know? And sorry, I know I'm going on a little bit, but the last thing I just want to say, the last thing I want to say is, this fight has been going on for centuries. How is it going to change? People are here, I guess, because they're pretty like-minded. But then how do you influence the minds of others, like this lady says, her friends or even family, who are actually racist, but they say, no, I've got black friends, or I don't mean you. How do you educate somebody like that who cannot actually see what they're saying or what they're doing has a really bad negative impact on somebody else? I don't know the answer to that. I'm hoping the youth, because, you know, I'm old and the children, the young people will do that. But they have to be educated and they have to be taught and they have to know that they should never, ever, ever be ashamed of who they are, because they're individuals and unique.
Thank you so much. And I think, if anything, I have three children. My eldest son lives in Malta. My youngest daughter is here expecting a baby. My youngest son is in Salford at university. And he said to me today, he said, do you know what, Mum? He said, you've always taught us to be who we are, love who we are. But he said, do you know what, when I saw and I heard about George Floyd, he said, I can't watch that. He said, and where does that come from? Why is that happening to me? You see, because for me, I always wanted to protect my children. Protect our children so that they didn't have to go through what we've seen. I remember rioting in Preston in the 80s with some of my friends here, and of course we thought it was a bit fun. But I don't think we also grasped what was really going on and what our parents went through. But what I'm saying is, when my children can say, I wish I could be there with you tonight, because he knows that he's got friends that are here also tonight. And I'm going to introduce another young lady. I'm sure she goes to uni here, don't you? Only college? It's okay, it's college, it's still good. What's your name?
Rachel.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce another young person, because we do believe that our children are our future.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm here as a woman and person of the LGBTQ plus community, and I would not have the rights I had today if people sat down and were quiet. So for now, for justice for George Floyd and for everyone else who's died, we can't be quiet. I need everyone to be loud. I need everyone to speak in their mind. And I'm only 17, so I'm here more to talk about the education that we're taught. In history, I was never taught about the Windrush generation. I found out what that was today. In geography, we need to learn geography around the world, about cultures, about everything. In English, we need stories and literature from people of colour, so we learn stories from everyone. Sorry. It's our job as young people to change our language, change the way we speak. I know there's people here today who say slurs who don't belong to them, and that needs to change, and that starts at education. From the age of 5, we need to be taught that we are all the same, and we all deserve to be treated the same. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. But please be loud for everyone who needs you to be loud for them.
Nice one.
Sorry. It's alright. Sorry, is it on? Hi, I'm Amal. I'm 18 and I go to a local college as well. I just wanted to say I'm so glad so many people have turned up to show support, empathy, and most importantly, solidarity. It's a shame that this wasn't mirrored by our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, especially after the comments he's made towards the black community and other minority groups. Sorry, one second. With all the comments that he's made, he's made hurtful comments, and he's got the top job in the sorry, I can't talk with this on, in the country at the moment, so he's showing that that's okay. And Boris Johnson was asked this morning at PMQs, do Black Lives Matter, and he said, of course Black Lives Matter. Society isn't telling us otherwise. They're discriminated against. They're discriminated. Yeah, he should stop being a racist. They're discriminated against in the social justice, the criminal justice system. I've completely forgotten how to speak. The health department, in the employment sector, and so Boris Johnson, it's not enough to just not be racist. You have to be actively anti-racist. We need educational programs from primary school, because no one is born racist. We need to be showing that we're all the same. We all need to put pressure on our local governments, on our MPs, on our local councils. The only way we'll get anything done is if we put pressure on them. Please don't let this just be a passing trend. We can all make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We've got a few speakers tonight. What's your name? Jess.
Hi. My name's Jess. I left college this year because I didn't really want to be here. But now, seeing the news and everything in it, I'm still here because I know that at the end of the day, every human being is made of atoms. Everyone breathes the same and everyone lives the same, and if you can't see that, what is wrong with you? Underneath our skin and our appearance, there are veins and blood, and it all comes out the same. And everyone needs to breathe. And if someone is stood on you because you can't breathe, then something is wrong. And if that man is the man who is supposed to protect you, then there are serious problems with the system. I'll be here every day until I see the change that deserves to happen. No one else should die because of the colour of their skin, or because of where they're from, or their religion, or where they were born.
Thank you. We do have more speakers, and I'm not supposed to be speaking now, but I have got some brilliant news. As we said, this protest wasn't planned. I woke up out of my bed yesterday morning, went onto social media, and had enough of seeing statuses and stupid innuendos and memes and people getting at each other, fighting at each other, instead of doing what we've done tonight and coming together and being together to show how we feel. And to prove the point in what I've just said, while we have been here all together, proving that we do not agree with this, proving that it is wrong, all 4 of the people involved in the reason we are here, while we are stood here, have all been charged. The power of the people and the power of protest. Black Lives Matter. 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 Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. We want to hear.
We also want everybody to say, please, the reason why we're here tonight
Is George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. Say his name.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Louder, people. It's the reason why we're here tonight.
George Floyd.
They've been arrested and charged. Say his
George
name.
Floyd.
Say his name. Say his name. You can do louder than that.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Well done to everybody that has come out today.
Okay, so first and foremost, I am not a public speaker, so if I mess up, that's it. But we're not just here because of the US. We're not just here because of the police brutality, the astonishing, the outrageous, the disgusting,
I'll show you on video.
the inhumane happenings that are happening in America, because the UK is not innocent.
I've actually met, look,
You have me instinct.
Everyone knows his name.
this is Callum C, she's here.
As the real one.
Look, Geraldine, Geraldine, are you watching? Are you watching, Geraldine? She's here.
She begged her bosses to not put her outside of the typical. Did they listen? No. Because bosses and people in higher positions do not give one crap about Black lives. They didn't care that she had a respiratory problem. They didn't care that she got assaulted. After she was assaulted, they tried to put her back to work. I don't know about you guys, but that does not seem right to me. The UK isn't innocent in the covert in the way that my black friends were discriminated and bullied against for the colour of their skin, for the way that the texture of their hair was, for the fact that they were black. And I don't know about you guys, it's not just white people. It's not. So call out your family members. As you can with this movement. Put posters outside your house. Scream Black Lives Matter when you walk down the street, because who will hear you, everyone will hear you, and that's what matters. Don't take your activism for social media. Do not stunt for the ground with your big That's not what we're here for, okay? Because Black Lives Matter and the UK is not innocent.
Now I'm going to introduce Jake. He's 17. Nice to see a young man from Preston.
So obviously you've got some amazing news.
You like to shout.
Can you hear me?
No.
Right. So obviously we've got some amazing news that all the officers have been arrested, and I'm just gonna touch on some of my experiences growing up, and I want to talk about one in particular that I'll never forget. I'll never forget it, and looking back now, it's one of the things that oddly it's really funny. You can laugh at it. So I'm just going to explain it, right? So I was in year 2. Okay, I was in year 2, and I was playing some games in the playground with my friends, as you do. And this girl says to me, I'm not going to mention any names because it's all forgiven. It's years ago, right? And she says to me, whilst we're playing this game, she says, Jay, you can't play this game. I said, why? I said, I'm sorry, but we're doing a thing where only we can play this game. Only white people can play this game.
Speak up, they can't hear you.
So can you not hear me? Right. So they were doing. So basically, we're playing a game in the playground, right? Okay. And and this girl who I was playing with, this person who I was playing with, she said, I'm sorry, Jay, you can't play this game. For this reason, you can't play this game. We're doing a thing that only, people who look like white people can play this game, okay? And obviously she, at this age, year 2, she had no idea what she was saying, right? But I go to my best friend and I say, they're not letting me play this game. What do I do? I can't play this game with you. And he said, wait, and he says, look, they say you can't play the game. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You can't play the game. And I was like, okay. And so, I don't know if it exactly went like this, but I go home that same night, right? And I'm telling my mum, who's right here, about my school day and everything. And I'm saying we drew pictures, we went, we did this in history, we studied this in English. It's got a loud car. So that's what I was saying. I went home saying that. I was telling my mum about what I did in school, and I said, we were drawing pictures. We learnt this in history. We did this in English. We had loads of fun today doing this. And she just stood there because I say this every day to her, all the same stuff I'm doing in primary. And she's not really bothered what I'm talking about. She's going, yeah, okay, oh, that's good, okay, right. And so I say the part where, and this thing happened where it's really weird. Like they wouldn't let me play this game. They wouldn't let me play this game because he said only white people could play this game. And my mum, I'm not lying, my mum, she spun around. Her head nearly came off her neck, right? And if you're a black child or just a child anyway, you know the look. You know the look when something is nearly about to go down. At this age, you're in trouble enough to know the look. Okay, so I saw the look and I thought maybe I should stop talking. Right? And so I carry on, and so they won't let me play this game. My friend said, what can I do? They said, you can't play this game. I'm not going to get involved. And so she was like, she says this bit, and this is the bit where I really think, okay, it's gonna go down. And so she says in this tone, is that right? And at that And at that point, I thought, okay. I might have to not go in school tomorrow because this is really gonna go down. It's gonna go deeper than down. And so she gets called in to talk about this issue because obviously the school recognises it's a racial issue. I didn't know the gravity of what I just told her, okay? And she sees the parent of this other child. She has a meeting with the parent of this other child. And you know, I hear a little bit of this conversation. You don't think I can hear it? I hear a little bit of this conversation, and my mum is going off. She's saying, okay, where did she learn this? How does she know this? How does she know to say that? Where did she pick this up from? And the parent's saying, look, I don't know. I don't teach this. I don't teach this to my children. I don't know, you know, where they got this from. And that's true. She may not have, but. My mum says it again to this lady, and I thought this was impossible. I thought this right here was impossible. She's only ever said this to me and my brother, and she says it to this lady. She has the same thing she said to me. Is that right? And I thought, okay, I'm gonna close my ears, because if I keep them open any longer and I'm asking questions about this later, I'm gonna get in serious trouble. Okay, my mum is mad at this point, and so. Obviously, this child gets in trouble for what she said. She realises it was wrong, even though she didn't know what racism was at the time. Okay, she realises it was wrong, and she says to me, my mum says to me when we're going back home in the car, she says, if anyone says anything like that again, you tell me or your dad. That's right. She said, you tell me or your dad. And I said, I was thinking in my head, because I knew I wasn't going to say it at this time, because my mum was too mad to even listen to me. And I was saying this in my head, Mum, I'll definitely tell you, I definitely will not tell my dad. And so that's just my little story, but obviously this is an amazing thing, everyone's turned out. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm looking for, there's another gentleman.
Is that right?
And keep watching the lights, Nigel. Nigel Pierce.
Well, not much I can add to what's been said tonight, but I will say this, I stand for George Floyd, but I've been standing for the last 40 years, and if I look at I like to mention Cynthia Jarrett and Stephen Lawrence. And I think this, if you look at the battle, to be an anti-racist and a white working class man, it started in the 70s, it ran through the 80s, it ran into the 90s, and we're in 2020 and it's still running. But I think now is time for real change. The world's in a mess, we've got to rise, we want system change. I love looking at this tonight, this is magnificent. I celebrate it, it's emotional, I love you all. Nice one.
Thank you, Nigel.
Nice one, Nigel.
Wow.
Make sure you can see where you're going.
This is really emotional. If you came here tonight and you have a voice, you need to be on this mic.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me at the cheap seats at the back? Cool. I'm Chris. I'm 36 years old. I'm absolutely 100% proud Prestonian. I am so genuinely humbled and amazed to see so many faces that I've never seen before, regular faces, all standing for this thing that we feel is so abhorrent. I think I'm going to take my time to address a point that the gentleman just brought up then, a really valid point, that we're looking for system change, right? We're looking for system change, but we need to understand how the system works, how the judicial system works, how the political system works. It's owned, run, arbitrated, authored, all essentially by white people. Until the annals of power in all countries see diversity, we won't see change here. We need to see it there. I'm not proposing any particular solutions to this problem because it's a systemic one, but the ideas that have been put forward about lobbying your MPs and trying to manipulate the political system for our gain. I think using our voices on social media as we have done is an amazing thing. People turning out, like we say here, it's unbelievable to see so many people here when apparently we're living in a pandemic, and if you're 2 feet next to someone, you're probably going to die. We're all here. We're all here. It's an amazing thing. It genuinely is. I don't know where I'm going with this. I genuinely didn't have... I know, right? I think what it is that I'm trying to say is that I see so many different faces, creeds, colours, all standing for one thing. And that humbles my spirit to the absolute core. Thank you so much for tuning in.
You know, I think that is it, isn't it? It is that when we stand in front of each other, although you're in a body, like a car, do you know what I mean? Every single spirit that's here in your body is living and breathing. And that's why I think, for myself, when I saw what happened with George, and it's still, as it comes out with George Floyd, it's the spirit being taken out of somebody, it's the breath. And that's why, oh my gosh, when we think of the breath, that somebody else thinks that they can take away. And I'm just thinking, who's next to speak?
How many what? Oh, 65. Ooh.
Hi everyone.
Go on.